Welcome back. We will be looking at cloud computing and cloud technology. It's basically the cloud. So cloud is something that is quite advanced. Whatever we do, we have to store that data. And generally, what we do is we store that data in PC storage devices. It could be SSD. There are different terms: magnetic tapes, magnetic disks, and SSD. Solid state drives that are currently very popular. Now what happens with storage is that there's a limit with physical hardware. If you have a large amounts of information and data, I mean, there are universities that are working with genetic codes, human genetic codes converted into digital files. And one person, one human, I have a friend who's working in Australia on genetic research, and he told me that one person's genetic coda is about 50 GB, or yeah, something like that. So but that's raw form. For them to convert it, for them to you transform it, or convert it to a particular file format of genetic files that is usable for them to process. I think it's it when you take about 4 or 5 people's genetic coda and you convert it and you break it down, it becomes petabytes. So there's literally very few computers in the world, supercomputers, that can hold that amount of information and process it also, not just hold it. Holding is fine if it's just holding data. I mean, you have servers, but especially to do the maths, to do the processing, unbelievable. So what cloud does is it makes that hardware aspect remote. So you don't have to maintain hardware and servers. You don't have to have it in your premises. Cloud is this technology where someone who owns servers somewhere else, maybe they are just specializing in that, like AWS, Amazon Web Services. They have their own servers. These are mega servers. They are dedicated. What they do is they sell that space. So if you have a proper internet connection, you can upload your data. They will hold it for you. You pay a subscription and use it. Right. That's what cloud does. So you can have public clouds and you can have private clouds. In this case, a public cloud is generally hosted by a third party company, and specialist companies like AWS, they sell their server space to other companies. A private cloud is private infrastructure. You can have your own cloud if you want. If you're a big enough company, if you have enough money, you can have your own set of servers. You don't have to locate it because you might be a multinational company, so you have multiple operations. So you have a server farm, and in that server farm you have your own cloud, and all those global subsidiaries that you own use that as the cloud. So that's a private server, private infrastructure. So this is essentially cloud. The technical definition is, it is the delivery of on demand computing resources, everything from applications to data centers. So you might have heard of the words like SaaS. That is not SARS. SARS SARS, that is the virus, not SARS. It's SaaS, software as a service, right? So what happens is that nowadays you don't even have to install the software. Software as a service is basically somebody in their cloud server has the software. You just log into it and remotely you use the software, and you get all your work done because you're using the software somebody else holding, as to get your work done, and you log out and it's done. So you're using software as a service. There we go. So it's that advanced technology. So it does have a lot of advantages, as you can see: flexibility, scalability, cost efficient, security, flexible working environment. I mean, I couldn't have done half of the things I have done over the last couple of years without cloud. And I use Google and AWS for my work. So disadvantages, of course, it requires a lot of change, and if you had your private servers and you were shifting to a mega cloud by a third party, you might have to lay off people and things like that. You will be heavily dependent on the contractor, whoever so they hold the data, they hold control over the data, and especially if something goes wrong, that can be a serious issue. It can be a disaster. Your entire business could go offline. So you're relying on them a lot. Security, privacy, and compliance concerns, so hackers and all kinds of threats are there. But the issue is that even if you had servers, there's no guarantee that a hacker couldn't access. it. And what we find with specialized companies is that they are, since that is their business, they have taken extra measures, and they take this matters of data and security and privacy utmost seriously. And Reliance, as I said, it's based on a contract, it's outsourced, it's a third party, you have little control, you don't know to what extent you can trust them. Okay, so that is essentially the end of cloud technology. Have a basic understanding. I'm sure, look, everything you're doing, right? Basically, just know this: Google. When you Google, you get a lot of information, right? Where is that information stored, right? Especially if it's Google search related base information, before it goes to the particular web page, the Google search index. That search index is enabled by Google service, which is in a cloud, right? If you're using Google Drive, if you're using Amazon Cloud, if you're using Oracle Cloud, if you're working in a company that uses cloud services, maybe private or public. So cloud is what enables remote working, essentially, right? People hold large amounts of data, and it's quite secure as well. So have that understanding. See if a situation demands cloud. Don't be afraid to propose it in the exam. Good luck and thank you.